as someone who has known him and worked with him for such a long time, that I know him to be a man of integrity, unflappable in the midst of a lot of pressing concerns, a man of honesty and character, a man who is totally devoted to serving the 6th District. And sir, it is an honor to ask you to the podium this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm Bob Goodlatte, and I have a question for you. Are you ready to elect Ben Cline to the United States Congress? Are you ready to elect Corey Stewart to the United States? You know, that first one, that's a little different for me. For 26 years, I've had a different question for you about that. But it's a real honor to be here and to let you know how important it is that we elect Ben Cline to Congress. I am looking forward to that day, not because I'm going to be leaving. It'll be a sad moment when I leave, but it'll be a proud moment for me to see Ben pick right up where I've left off. And it will be, I think, someone who has far more experience than the fellow that introduced himself to Debbie Garrett 26 years ago. Ben worked for me for 9 years. He served in the legislature for 15 years, and he is ready. No training needed at taxpayer expense. Debbie, thank you for those very kind words. And Debbie actually has served all of you at every level of government, local, state, and federal. In fact, I stole her away from Ben Cline a number of years ago, and now she serves as my district director, looking after all of my constituents and all of my district offices. And I see Sally Fauché right here. I think I've known Sally longer than anybody else in this room except for my wife, Mary Ellen. And it is a pleasure. I think I met Sally over 40 years ago. But in any event, it's an honor to be here. It is an honor to represent you in the Congress, and it is a great challenge that I have had the pleasure of taking on for all these years. Not every day is a pleasure, but the thought of being able to represent such good, hard-working people who understand conservative values, understand the principles on which our country was founded, is a real privilege, and I take that very seriously every single day. And we have great challenges in Washington today, but we also have great opportunities. Because of the tax reform package that the Congress passed last year, we now are enjoying one of the most successful economic booms in our country's history. And it is very, very important that we understand. Important that we understand that while Congress gets credit for passing that and President Trump gets credit for signing it, the real credit goes to the American people. Because all we did was trust you, was trust everyone with their own money, saying the government should let you decide how to spend more of your own money. And you've invested it wisely, you've spent it wisely where you've needed to, and we're now seeing that reflected in a great economy. We need to take that message to the American people. We need to take that message to our friends, our neighbors, the people we work with, the people we worship with, and make sure that they know how important this election is, because we have absolutely nothing to take for granted. Absolutely nothing to take for granted in this election. The Democrats are highly motivated. We saw that in last year's House of Delegates races. And they are going to turn out this year, have no doubt about it. So I am pleased that the President is starting to engage all across the country. He's going to be full on board, making sure that the American people and his supporters and people who care about the future of this country turn out to vote on Election Day. And I think they will, and people like Ben and Corey will have opportunities to win. But it is absolutely critical that we not waste any time between now and then. If you don't have a bumper sticker on your car, put one on. It's worth a couple $100s in advertising if you put it on this earlier. If you put it on a pickup truck, it's worth double that. So put it on there and let people know who you're supporting for Congress, for the Senate, and let's get people engaged. Put a yard sign in your yard. If you have a great location for a big 4x8, I know Ben would love to hear from you, and he'll get a sign there as quick as possible. If you have an opportunity to go door to door, don't miss out on that. Even if it's just going to the doors on your own street. But he has a very aggressive campaign to reach out to people individually, to let them know who he is, what his experience is, what he stands for, and he needs your help in knocking on doors to give that information out. You can have Ben's palm card in one pocket and Corey's palm card in another pocket, but get out there and let people know. And if you can take the time to make phone calls or email people, do that as well. And if we do all these things, we will have great representation in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to take too much time because I want you to hear about the future, not about the past. It's been an honor to serve you, and we'll have plenty of time to reminisce in the future, but right now the business at hand is to elect somebody that I've known, not quite as long as Debbie, but almost as long. Somebody who started out in the mailroom, I like to say, in my office, handling my legislative correspondence, and worked his way up to be the chief of staff in a congressional office at a very young age. And then, when the opportunity arose, he ran for the Virginia House of Delegates and has served there with great distinction. He's someone who believes in limited government, in individual responsibility, in free enterprise, in lower taxes, in less government regulations, strong families, a strong national defense, and I couldn't be more proud to introduce to you the next congressman from the 6th District of Virginia, Ben Cline.